Good afternoon. Today we are starting our next unit, unit number 11. We are starting with CO64. I can identify and label points, lines, and planes. So we are moving into going past the multi-step algebra stuff that we were working on. Now we're shifting gears. So now we're going to be working with the planes with like angles and protractors, and we're going to be doing some more geometry type stuff. So to start with, we need to know our vocabulary. So our first thing is a point. What is a point? A point is simply a dot used to represent a location and it's always written with a capital letter. So when we have a point, we will always see it labeled as a capital letter. Never going to be lowercase, always a capital letter. So an example, this is our point. We might call it point A. So if you see this, you would call that point A. If we have a shape, and we have points at each corner, you would say this is figure W, X, Y, Z. So each of those corners is a point, and we use those points to label our figure, to give a name to the figure. It's always going to be capital. So those points will always be capital letters. A line connects two or more points it's straight. This is not a J, it's a semicolon. It's hard to write a semicolon with this marker. So a line is always straight and it goes on forever. Goes on forever, and it cannot be measured. Why do you think our line cannot be measured, Chance?
Because it goes on forever.
Because it goes on forever. Okay, if you say it's 6 inches long, that's not a line, that's a segment. Right? The line goes on forever, so we can't say how long it is because numbers go on forever. So an example of a line, let's say we have point A and we have point B. We know it's a line because what am I going to include on it? Arrows. So we know it's a line because it has arrows. We can also, if they put like a cursive L there, that little L, we would call this line L because that's the name that was given to it. So it's not line AB because that's just our points, right? We would call this line L. If we saw the AB with the arrows above it or the A with the arrows above it, then we know that it's a line because above the letters, it shows us that it's a line with the arrows. So all of these three things are all referring to this line that has the points A, B on it. Can there be other points on the line? Yeah. Okay, this line goes on forever. There's going to be lots of other points we could put on that line if we're referring to it. But we know this little cursive L means that this is line L. We've got the points A, B, and if we put a line above our points, we know that it's referring to that line that those points are on. Next is a plane. A plane is a flat, two-dimensional surface that extends indefinitely. So when we were working with our coordinate plane, when we were graphing our numbers, and people said, what if I do this slope? It's going to go off of the graph. And I said, it's okay. You know where those lines continue on the graph. You can figure out where it would fall because that plane extends indefinitely. It doesn't just stop where your graph stops. It can keep on going. We just can't make graphs that huge, right? It just doesn't make sense for us to draw all of those lines on the graph, but just know that that plane goes on and on and on and on. If it's two-dimensional, what does that mean?
It's like flat, like it's not like a cube. It's kind
Right.
of just like a circle.
What would we call a cube? Three-dimensional. So Aiden's right. Two-dimensional is when you open that cube up and you lay it flat. When you draw the net of that cube, you cut on the sides and you lay it down flat. So two-dimensional is when it's laid out flat, like the net. And three-dimensional is when we have that full shape, like the cube or the sphere. So an example of the plane would be, let's say I have this shape, and I have an R here. I have this, and this. Come on over here, Evan. So draw that figure. No, you just have to do the two. You have to do what the statement would be and what the graph would be. But don't forget, when you graph it, one more thing, okay? Yep. Okay, so if we're going to write what this figure is, we could say it is the plane A, B, C, because those are the points that are inside our plane. So just like we used those points for our line, and we said it was line AB because we had the points AB with the line above it, we can call it the plane ABC, and we know it's this shape that has those points inside of it. We could also call it plane R. If you notice, this R right here doesn't have a point next to it. It doesn't have the dot. So because it doesn't have a dot, it's not a point. It is the name that we could give to this plane. Just like up here we had L, so we could call it line L. Down here, if we have an R with no point next to it, if we have a letter with no point, then that's the name of the plane. So that is plane R, because R is not a point. R is the name given to the plane. See the difference? Okay. So we've got the point, we've got the line, and we've got the plane. I'm going to erase so I can scroll up. So we're going to use the diagram for the following tasks. So you're going to use this diagram over here to do these 4 things. You're going to label the plane lowercase n. You're gonna label the points A, B, and C. You're gonna draw a line AB and a line BC. So inside that plane, using those red points that they already put in there, those red dots, you're gonna make them points. You're gonna do that. Then you're gonna do something similar all on your own, and you're gonna draw a plane that includes 5 points and 3 lines. And you need to label them. 5 points and 3 lines. So you're gonna draw a plane. You can make it whatever shape you want. This one has 3 points in it. You need to put 5 points in it. Label them, and then draw 3 lines with those points. And then you're gonna answer the questions. Why do lines have arrows on both ends? And you're going to draw 2 lines, AB and DE, that are intersecting at point C. What does it mean to be intersecting? That's where they cross each other. So the point where there 2 lines cross each other, that's going to be point C. So you have to draw 2 lines, a line AB and a line DE, and they're going to intersect at point C. Okay, this is all that we have today, getting us ready for this unit. So we usually start off with an easier objective. So I want you to really think through how you are drawing and labeling your points and your lines and your plane. So you need to make sure you have all those pieces. That is plane M, that you have 5 points and 3 lines. Make sure you're labeling them correctly. When you are done with today's assignment, it is Khan Academy you can work on, math packets you can work on, math masters you can work on. This is a calm, quiet work time. We're going to try to end early so we can do a little pie work at the end of class. Okay, so work calmly and quietly. Was there any questions before I end? All right, for those at home, we hope you are well. We hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.